Hello and welcome back to Rage Gaming, and welcome back once again to Lords of the Fallen. One big topic right now is Vigour, the souls of this game, and how can you farm them effectively, efficiently, and as early as possible. Now we're planning on doing a mid-game Vigour farm to provide you with a nice high Vigour route that's easy and functional, and while we were planning that, this ridiculous method was found. It results in upwards of 200,000 Vigour an hour, and it is very easy and accessible shockingly early in the game. It's all to do with our best friend here, the Red Wraith, the Reaper, that spawns in max danger level when you're being hunted in the Umbral world for being in there too long. This being one of the best Vigour farms currently is funny to me because in the pre-released version of the game, there was a way to actually kill him using a chain attack bug, which was promised to be removed by the devs. Now that we're actually in full release, we're still farming that Red Wraith, just in an entirely different way. As you can see, this method isn't using a chain attack bug, but yeah, gravity, which is fair enough, right? Having said that, this is clearly very buggy, because in this specific setup, we're causing the Wraith to sort of bug out and fly off into the sky in a distant way. He's basically trying to teleport to us in a place he cannot teleport to us, so it sends him out of bounds. By being out of bounds, it instantaneously destroys him. And then all of his Vigour and his item drops are actually at the location where he tried to teleport, instead of being super far away for us not being able to collect. Though, having said that, doing it normally just works fine. Sometimes he'll try and do like a spin attack and fly off the side, and you can use, say, a soul flay to rip him off the side of a ledge if things go wrong and you need to find another way. Ultimately, kill him with fall damage. As you can see though, this farm method is done right next to the Vestige of Blind Agatha in the Pilgrim's Perch region. The Vestige is one of the main ones for that region and has multiple shortcuts that you'll open up to access just by progressing the main path. So a fairly early game area, pretty unmissable because of its importance and tie to the boss of this area, and very accessible for most players even when they're on the first day of play. So here's how this is done. You'll need to enter the Umbral world, which is done best by sprinting past the big guy by the Vestige, guarding the exit, and running off the side. In his reaction, he'll just charge after you and run right off the edge with you, which means you get some extra Vigour without any fight at all, so he's not an issue when you're doing this. Now that we've entered the Umbral world, we're enjoying the XP multiplier of the Umbral world. You see, at the top right, you can see a counter going up. The longer you're in here, the more that counter gains and grows. The ×1 is timesing your actual XP. So as it goes to ×2 or ×3, that's literally 3 times the amount of XP you would normally get in, say, the living world, which is kind of insane. Anyway, this method and the Red Reaper, just by being near him, he prevents healing, which is horrible. Also, he goes into the ground, which means he's unattackable. He comes out for a sort of ambush pop-up attack, which is very early and very one-shot state when you're dealing with him early in the game. But yeah, fortunately for us, we're going to bug him out and kill him in one hit without actually fighting him. To successfully spawn the Reaper, we need to wait a while. The longer you're in the Umbral world, the more that eye on the right will fill up, which increases the XP gain, sure, but also the danger. More enemies are going to spawn, stronger varied enemies at that, and eventually at the full cap, it will be the Reaper. We can track this by just looking at the eye on the right. It actually has this thin white line that slowly outlines the eye itself, and when that fully outlines the eye to make a complete circle, the eye will then turn red, and yeah, the Reaper will spawn. Overall, it takes about 6 minutes for the Reaper to spawn, so we need to wait 6 minutes somehow. Fortunately for us, there's a ladder on the left of this cave exit, which we just climb onto and sit roughly halfway up, so we're out of danger. Enemies will continue to spawn, and the danger will grow, but while we're on this ladder, we're just out of melee range from them above or below us, and nothing can hit us with a ranged attack in this location. When the Reaper has spawned though, it's time to get off the ladder. I like to climb to the top and then roll or sprint off the top, so the Reaper can't actually land an attack on me. He's going to try to ambush you, leaping from the ground and slamming down from the point of his red trail, but you can avoid dealing with any of that by just simply sprinting and zooming on out of there. Following this short bone bridge over to the other side where we have the wooden beams. Turn around and follow the wooden beams back towards the platform we were just on, and we'll be slightly raised above it. Do this right, and the Reaper will slowly try to make his way towards you at the edge of the platform. Eventually, he'll try to land a melee attack that causes him to fly off the edge, or he'll do the buggy thing, which is try to teleport to your location for the downward slam. At which point, he will try to teleport next to you, end up teleporting in mid-air, the game will freak out and send him flying off into the sky, and he'll just pop out of existence. Alternatively though, he might just do a normal attack and send him off the side, or if he's not doing either, you can just target him with a soul flay, which will drag him off the side. That works too. Ultimately, get him towards the edge of a ledge and pull him off with the soul flay, and that'll work. He can be a bit buggy, obviously, considering how we're killing him, so you just want to stand in the exact same place that works for you. I found that being near the end of the beam, but not quite at the edge, but say down a rung where there's a second row of sort of rope, standing there and looking at him, tagging him, and even pulling out my lamp, for some reason gave me this consistent result, so that's what I kept doing, as you can see. When he's dead, make sure to collect your Vigour, and then just go back to the Verces to reset, and do it all again until the Reaper is dead once more. Now, each successful Reaper kill is initially worth 7,900 Vigour, and the 3 guys you end up killing in the process to set up waiting on the ladder, so the guy that runs after you, the guy that gets knocked off the platform, and the guy up the ladder that's up top that you probably want to clean out just to be safe, they're all worth another 645. So it's a total of 8,545 Vigour every 6-ish minutes, but that's without any Vigour increases equipped. Also, every time you kill the Reaper, he drops the Umbral Scouring currency, 5 of it, which is what you use to trade for boss equipment. So this is also an incredible boss currency farm too. Honestly, it's probably the best method in the game, and with the way that it is, I would imagine they'll patch it eventually. But yeah, Vigour increases. We can actually get different ways to improve how much Vigour we get per kill. Firstly, we have this ring, the Moth Ring. The ring is unfortunately found later in the game, in Upper Calrath, in its second section. Unfortunately, by the time you reach Lower Calrath, you've got like 5 full areas to complete before you make it there. You get the ring near an enemy that looks actually quite like the Light Reaper boss in a sort of marketplace area. It's hanging from a corpse that you have to knock down and then loot. The second way to increase your Vigour amount is by using the Nelag rune. I hope I pronounced that right. It's what you socket into your weapon. If you're able to get multiple of those runes, maybe you could increase the XP even more. But each thing is another 10% increase to your XP. To unlock runes for your weapons, you need to give the blacksmith the cracked rune tablets found throughout the game. The first one's found in Fitzroy's Gorge in the cave area on the right side of that region. Once you buy one, you can speak with her again and choose to socket the runes into your weapons, ideally the rune increaser one, if you have it. At that point, having multiple Vigour increases means your times XP during the Umbral world will increase too, resulting in a lot more Vigour per Reaper kill, towards 13k. This will stack up the Vigour numbers per hour even more. Also, for some other tips, if you didn't know, you can actually siphon Vigour up from range. If you pull out your lantern and hold R1 on, say, a controller, you'll do the same thing as when you try to pop an Umbral Eye or the blisters to restore the lantern soulflay. It scoops up the Vigour from safety nice from range, and even makes like weak enemies stagger in fear as well. The last thing I should mention is that if you've been using this method to get lots of Vigour but spent it in ways maybe you regret, there is a way to respec in the game. You do it in the hub at Skyrest Bridge via Pieta, the same NPC you fought as a boss originally, and now we use her to upgrade our main healing item. As you can see, you can also respec with her, but you need the item, the Rebirth Chrysalis. You can buy one in Skyrest too though, from the vendor that you need to speak to while in the Umbral world. So swap to the Umbral world while in the hub and go speak with Molhu. The Rebirth item, the Rebirth Chrysalis, isn't exactly cheap and there's only one of them. 8,000 Vigour for that, but it is well worth it if you need to respec. The items are one-time use though, so once you buy the single one from the vendor, that's it from here. You can get more in the game though. Multiple can be picked up off the ground in certain sections, and you can buy them from Winterberry, another merchant, in the Revelation Depths area. But there you have it, a very easy and very reliable Vigour farm method. This is dangerously effective and so early in the game, and that's why I think there's a good chance that they'll patch this. So if you're desperate for Vigour, maybe do this while you can. We'll see what we need to do though, if they patch it, probably when they do. But for now, I've been Hollow, you've been you. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.